Hey guys, Moneyman300 and doing some more Forza 5 tips and tricks, and this one's going to be a little bit more of an advanced tip here. The last video I did, or the start of that, was we went over a lot. I went over a lot of the basics, and I'm going to keep expanding on those basics and moving up. But in this case, I've had a couple of questions and interest in seeing how to do manual shift with a clutch and how that works and how I do it. So it's been a common question, just even in the community. It's the fastest setup that you can have as far as running laps or multiplayer and things like that. Shifting with the clutch is going to make you faster. To get started though, you're going to want to learn to manual shift to start. Now I use the default buttons of X and B. If you change that, this video's, you can watch it, but you'll have to understand how that applies to you and the buttons that I use. But you want to learn to manual shift first. And the best way to do that is just to do it. The way I taught them, I just switched it and never looked back. And to be honest, I didn't manual shift a lot until I started it a little bit in Forza 2 and 3, and when I started playing Forza 5, when it first came out, I didn't even set it to automatic. I just put it on manual and just went from there, and a couple hours in, it really became second nature. And you don't even think about it anymore, shifting in and out of corners. And that's the big deal. The big difference between automatic and manual is you're able to time your shifts properly going into a corner to help utilize downshifting and braking in conjunction with each other to shorten your braking distance dramatically, and then using the right gears through corners and coming out of corners to give you the best acceleration coming out of a corner. Sometimes you can use it to control wheel spin by shifting up, shifting down, different things like that. But anyway, it is faster to go from automatic to manual. With manual shifting, and you can see this when you're shifting on a straightaway especially, and you're going up from maybe third to fourth or fourth to fifth, you can almost see the nose dip a little bit because when it's shifting, you almost lose a little speed in that manual shift. To get rid of that, manual with the clutch. You get a smooth shift, you're going straight acceleration all the time, you don't lose that little bit of acceleration, and it just makes you even that much faster. So like I said, and to get to manual shifting, the way I did it, I just went into Rivals and just started running laps on a track that I knew fairly well, on a car that I knew how to drive, and just ran laps and until I kind of got it. And it wasn't like I went an hour on the same track, but I just ran 10-15 laps on there, and then went into the single player, going through that, and just until it became second nature. And it really didn't take that long. Then once I learned that, I noticed the slowdown that I was getting, and I wanted to be able to turn better laps and have more top 100 times, top 50 times, those types of things. I taught myself to do the clutch. So that's what we're going to talk about here. The first thing you're going to want to do is go into your Forza profile here and change your controller setup. So the default, and let me where am I at here? Gear up, gear down. Oh, what did I do there? Oh man, I don't remember what the default is there. Alright, but anyway, switch gear up, gear down, off. Okay, we'll leave that alone. That is what it is. Okay, so the switch handbrake and clutch. This is the default here, where you can see the clutch is up on the left bumper. That is difficult for most people to use because braking and clutching and using the clutch is hard to do because you have to press both with that left index finger. And that's hard to do. So they have an option here where you can just switch handbrake clutch. Now the clutch is down there by the gear shift. What that allows me to do is simultaneously press A and X or A and B to be able to do that. So what I'll do is we will show that in a camera view here. Get everything out of the way, get the controller in a decent spot, maybe right there. Yeah, that'll work. Here, let me get adjusted. Bam, there we go. Okay, so as you can see from here, I can just run my fingers, and I really just, in a motion like this, A to X, A to B. That's backwards, but whatever. A to X, A to B, over and over, and you can pretty much hit them simultaneously. You don't have to, it's not like a real car where I have to clutch, gas, time it, let it slip in. You don't. You just simultaneously hit them. You also, another tip is, when you're when you're shifting down a straightaway and things like that, when you're shifting up, you don't have to let off the gas at all. So you're on the gas. It seems odd, but It works in the game. It's how you can shift without doing it. So what I'll do here is we'll do an actual application of that. And I actually need to put my headset on here. Did not have it on. There we go. And let's go. We're gonna go into a track and just do this. So we'll go into Rivals real quick, and I'm gonna go into C. And I'm gonna take let's do something relatively easy to drive for now, just so I can show it. And let's do Road Atlanta, I think, right here. So Road Atlanta C, and I'm gonna use this Lancer Evo, which I don't think I've ever driven this on this track, but and so that way you can get a sense for, you know, as I go around the track, we can see how that works. So make sure I get this centered. This is going to be a little awkward to drive because I kind of I want to make sure people will be able to see the buttons well enough. So I got to kind of tilt this, but you know, we're not professional racing here anyway. So let's get this race going. I like the look of this car. I just built this one. I'll be doing a drive-in tune on this car. It's a good setup. It's not like top 100 type material, top 200, 300, 400 maybe, but I think it's going to be a great lobby car because of the acceleration and the drive. So you can see as I'm talking through that, you can kind of see that as I shift here and talk about it. So shift up, I just kind of roll from A to B there. I don't really need to shift down there, but kind of wanted to show that. So get up here and I just roll it like that. Just roll across it. And you just do that. So if I needed to shift down there, I could. Don't really need to on Road Atlanta short. But yeah, so you just roll it from A to B, A to X, A to B, whatever, you know, whatever it is you're trying to do out there as you're going. This is the easiest way to do it. There are other ways, and some people do actually use the shift down one more time there. Some people do use that index finger and the bumper, but you'll find most of the community does it this way. That actually uses a controller anyway. So, but you can hear it if you listen to the way that shifts. That kind of just gives a little blip in the shift. The other thing is there are other advanced ways to brake and do this that people will do sometimes, in giving it a blip on the downshift so that you can match that rev. But ooh, hello, I don't want to use the brakes there, but yeah. So I'll stop it there. You get the idea. Just go out, practice it. It becomes second nature really fast, especially once you learn to manual shift. You know, once you get that down. So that'll do it. We'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.